that's finna stop me is me. But once I overcame that fight, can't nothing stop me. I can't die. I'm immortal.
Rejected, neglected, I feel disrespected. They told me go left, I didn't learn the right lessons. Been hard on my grizzle, my hustle got deadly. Y'all rap about shit I done murdered already. Ain't changing my image, focused on my vision. Hard-headed, don't listen, fake love, I ain't with it. This path I'm committed, slip up but ain't tripping. My mind always spinning, ain't talking about fidget. Just run me, my digits go broke, I ain't limping. It ain't come to me, so I had to go get it. I came from a city with niggas, it's vicious. The love be fictitious, see hate from a distance. It made me a fighter, got pushed to my limits. I took a few L's and then got so discouraged. With God as my witness, from whence I was forged. No Golden Gate Bridge, but I came back a warrior. I came back immortal, invincible even. My faith is much higher than what you believe in. They wanted me gone on my soul, I ain't leaving. Spoke life into every verse you receiving. My music lives on when my bones turn to dust. There's power in words, so bitch you should hush. My mind overflowing in lyrical floods. Fuck building an art, you gon' need you a sub. I rose through the pavement, I stand on my morals. Been stabbed in the heart, now my scars are enormous. I took all your stones and created a fortress. Been fighting off demons that constantly torment my mind, and my thoughts are a little abnormal. Been crossing out squares that won't fit in my circle. Can't kill what I said, and this verse is eternal. With God on my side, I can't die, I'm immortal. What's good, everybody? Yo. All right, we was on TikTok. We guess we was ticking and talking too hard because they got us up out of here. Let me send y'all the link, and what y'all do. What up? Let me send you the link. Let me get you the link. Hold on, underground. Let me get you the link. I sent you the link. So you gotta do is you gotta put in your browser, sweetest, and then you'll come on the backside. And then I'm gonna send it to underground right now. It's just crazy. You gotta go through all this extra stuff. All right, there go Gemini. I'm gonna bring y'all up real quick.
Check.
I hadn't had anybody up, so let me get underground in here, and let me get Sweetest got the link, so let me send it. Well, Codify's here.
Yes, sir.
Sweetest was telling me not to forget you, so let me find underground. God dog it. You know what? Yeah, she right there. Yeah, she right there. All right, underground. So I sent y'all a link. All you gotta do is type it into your browser, copy it. Well, it won't let you. So type it to your link. Yeah, they kicked us. They kicked us. It's in appeal right now. It's gonna get reversed, but however, we need to be somewhere where stuff can be seen collectively. And
Etymology heavy, bro.
yeah. So I still got the site up and everything.
All right. Did you okay, you got etymology up there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just remember when you're reading through it and you get to that plus symbol, that's where they breaking it down. So let's see what it is.
I'm still in shock that we were kicked. Like, what was their reason?
Look, man, their ultimate goal is control. They use other things to that end. They use money. They use chemicals. You know what I'm saying? They use backwards language.
Indeed.
You know, it's
All
all
right.
about control, man. So that's why when I hear a lot of people talking about we need economic development and to put our money together, no. You need clarity first.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
etymology will bring that clarity. That's why they shut us down TikTok. Man, look, that's you see why I was like, man, maybe just tomorrow or something. But
We
etymology.
ain't no tomorrow.
I know, right? I know, right? But yeah, man, this etymology is something
All
else,
right. All right, so let me share the screen.
Hopefully get underground in here. And we get Billy in here.
Well,
All right, man. You tell us where we going now, bro.
all right. You looking at etymology? Hold on, we're small on this phone, but it says late 14th century etymologia or etymologia, facts of the origin and development of a word. From Old French etymologia, 14th century modern French etymology, from Latin etymologia, from Greek etymologia, analysis of a word to find its true origin. Properly, the study of the true sense of a word. That's key.
Mm,
With logia, meaning study of,
right,
a speaking of, plus logi. Um, that's like you know, ology is the study of something, and then
right.
it's plus etymon, which is the true sense, original meaning, true, real, actual. So etymology is the study of the true sense of a word. That's what it's breaking it down into. The study of the true sense of words. Um, don't focus so much on the true origin, because a lot of the words you look up, it's going to say of unknown origin. So, a lot of people, when you just say etymology, they'll be like, oh, the origin and history of words. That's not precise. What's precise is the study of the true sense. It includes the history and it may include the origin.
Hmm.
Let's do this. I'm gonna go through a series of words. We're gonna do boy and girl,
Okay.
and I'm gonna point out some things to you. So let's start off with boy,
Where is
and
that?
then hit now. And as I'm going through this, I'm gonna stop at a particular spot and point out something to you. Okay, you got it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, it says mid 13th century. That's where the 13C is.
Right.
13th century. When the C is in front of the number, it means circa. It means around that time.
Right.
Servant, commoner, knave. What's here in the parentheses? Generally young and male. But you got to pay attention to generally, because if they point out a generality, there's also something that's specific. Uh, we got the gist of that, but let me have you put in the word girl,
Mhm.
and then hit the noun.
Okay. The C is before the 1300.
Yeah, that's circa. That means around 1300.
Yeah,
You you
yeah.
want to read it or you want me to?
All right. Girl, child, a young person. Parentheses of either sex, but mostly frequently of females.
Stop right there. So
The
boy
fuck?
and girl is not gender specific. See, boy means a commoner, a knave, a servant. That could be male or female. It's just that most of them are boys, but they can be girls. Well, most of them are male, but they can also be female. Now keep reading girl. You're gonna get to what it means.
Of unknown origins.
Hmm.
One guess, OED leaned toward the unrecorded Old English girl from Proto Germanic. What was that?
Girl, we're long.
Diminutive of Gerwals, apparently also represented by Low German. I can't make out that A and E together. Is that supposed to be separate or they go sound?
Fair.
Is this a sound? She say girl.
Okay. Girl, boy, Norwegian dialect, Guri, Swedish dial, dialectal, Guri, or girl, small child, though the exact relationship, if any, between these is obscured. From pi, girl, I don't know how to go, girl, no fucking GHWRHG, girl, girl.
Girl.
Also found in Greek Parthas versions, but involves the objection of that's not physiology, philology of I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, scroll up.
Philology.
Scroll up. You're gonna see a paragraph right there. They're gonna really break it down. It says, "Girl, do not go back to."
Girl, do not go back to Old English or Old Germanic form. It is part of a large group of Germanic words whose roots begin with a G or K, an N and R. The final consonant in girl is an A. Diminutive suffix, the G through R word denotes the young animals, children, and all kinds of creatures considered immature, worthless, of past their prime.
That's what girl mean,
Damn.
and it could be male or female.
Stop acting like a girl.
Immature and worthless. I think
Right,
that, yeah, that's,
past their prime.
That's wild shit.
So
so you
boy
could be
and
an old
girl
girl.
is
If you're past your prime, you could be an old girl.
right. You ever heard somebody say, "Oh, girl"?
They were underground. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's old girl. That means, yeah, immature, past your prime.
That shit's wild.
Yeah, so boy or girl is not gender specific. Let me see. It's some more. Oh, wait, he said you already did Queen. Has anybody else seen Queen?
Well, we do it. No, we're here.
All
We're
right,
here. We're here.
let's put in Quean.
Okay.
Yeah, click on the noun.
All right. Middle English. Queen. A woman. A low born woman. From Old English. Queen. Woman. A female serf. Hussy. Prostitute. I'm sorry, y'all.
I know, bro.
Let me tell you why I'm laughing.
What's
I
up,
can't
man?
I can't count the number of women I call hussies. And they had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
They call themselves queens and don't even know what they.
Ah,
I know the truth is just ah.
as in Port Queen, the public woman from Porto Germanic Queen, the source of Old Saxon Queen, High German Queen, Old Norse Kona, Gothic Kino, wife, woman, Middle Dutch Queen, vain or worthless woman from pi the root queen, woman compared to queen. Mm,
All right, let me help y'all make sense of this, man, because it ties into another industry. Well, not another industry, but that industry. Okay, look at the structure. Okay, you have the king and the queen, but in the royal system, there are also consorts, and the consorts aren't like hidden side chicks. These are known females who are registered and approved of to be able to mess with the king. What does that sound like? And think prostitution. It's
concubines,
it's just that the queen is the well-known, I'm gonna say top one.
The
It's
bottom,
the
there
bottom
you
bitch.
there you go. You see how it ties into prostitution. You got the pimp, the hoes, but you got the bottom bitch, which is would be his queen.
Respect my bottom bitch.
It was just really weird to me how those two structures related directly to each other.
Mm.
And then it made sense why queen would they would say it's a prostitute, a hussy.
A woman
Okay,
considered
okay.
without regard to qualities or position, perhaps by contrast in the sense of the queen, hence offering slighting or abusive terms for women. In Middle English, it could mean a harlot, an old woman, or and in popular use in the 16th century and 17th century in the sense of hussy, but in Scottish often with a sense of young, robust woman.
Miss Met stay calling people harlots.
The sense
Oh
of
man.
the sense of effeminate homosexual is recorded by the 1935. According to the Partridge, this was especially in Australian slang.
Hmm. And
Aha.
you notice how they call themselves people also.
Ah, now that's it's funny because I wish I could pull
When
up his picture.
Shay, remember, um, this is their life. A queen, in a sense, may not be gender specific either.
it
Harlots.
started out that way though.
You know what I was thinking about when you guys were reading off for boy and girl? I don't. I
What's
know this
that?
is like strange, but Thailand's Lady Boys.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
It,
yeah,
that was the first thing that popped into my mind
yeah.
was
Don't
the
don't
title
don't
Lady Boys.
don't fuck around and get lost in Bangkok. That's not a myth. That shit is
So
not a myth.
every word that you thought you knew the meaning of. See, this is why I say public school teaches them how to read, but comprehension they don't teach them. Or they would say, or they would teach us what etymology is if they wanted us to comprehend anything. See, reading is just saying the words. Comprehension is something totally different. That means you know what the words mean and you can figure out what message is being conveyed by using those words.
Read a book. Read a book. Read a motherfucking book.
So, it's really not until you get to college level, it's called reading comprehension, not just reading.
Not a
And
sports
even in
page.
college, they don't teach
Not a
this.
magazine.
I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, the higher the degree, the worse the person is, bro. Try to talk to somebody with a master's degree about what these words really mean, and they'll look just as lost. And matter of fact, they argue even worse than people who don't have degrees.
Mm-mm-mm.
and you will find etymology because they use a lot of Latin. You will find it in the medical field, engineering, the sciences. Period. See, because the thing is, when they communicate, they don't want to make mistakes or have miscommunications or misunderstandings with each other. So they use the words the way they're supposed to be used.
Right.
Um, Man, you could just pick a word. Really, I tell people like once you read what queen means, put in the word surf, put in the word hussy, put in the word prostitute. You know what I'm saying? See what they specifically mean.
All right. Yeah, we on etymology, bro. Get your ass over here on this backside so we can get you in here and get talking. Always on the wrong side of the internet, man.
Yeah,
So this is funny. We was talking about Queen, and I'm gonna show y'all something. And it said, notice that bottom part. It says the
See
sense of
queen.
effeminate homosexual
Oh,
recorded by
effeminate.
the effeminate homosexual is recorded in 1935 portraits, especially used in Australian slang. Right?
Hmm.
Show y'all a picture. All right, that is my guy Mike, and this was shortly after cousin's my funeral in 2015, and we're out and about. He's like, "Man, sorry for y'all loss," and then it's like, like, man, we're gonna have a good time. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We go celebrate my cousin. We're gonna have a good time, and we go out, and he's like, "What's with all these queens?" And we're like, "Just women." And he's like, no. We got all these queens, man. Like this is America. This is weird. And then now, at the time we looked at it like, oh, you talking about? I was like, yeah, they was just that. But it was funny because at the time we were thinking he was actually referring to actual women when this man
Right.
was just he was referring to the alphabet boys and girls.
Right. The elemental PQ RSs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't try to keep up with the acronyms. There's always something different.
Drop it
Uh,
in the comments. Shit. All right. Let me see.
let's do this. Let's go. Troglodyte.
No. This guy. This guy.
You
Hold
don't
up.
know what I'm talking about, huh? He
Let, let,
laughed.
let me get Myron in here real quick.
Yeah. Who was that? Gemini that laughed?
yeah.
Yeah, you must know what I'm about to say. I'm about to say, yeah, buddy. Then we gonna see what they look like too.
Uh, let
Because
me-
troglodyte is not the only word they use to describe themselves. I'm about to have you
hold on.
Show it,
go.
show it. Oh, we gonna have fun tonight.
Matter of fact, maybe I should have you go. Let me see.
There you go. Hold on. Let me. All right,
I'll
Myron. I got you. I got Myron covered. So
I'll show you after you look up troglodyte.
yeah, we about to get in all that, Myron. We about to get in all that. I thought I was about to say,
No,
hey,
no.
sweet.
Matter of fact, you know what? Put in the word Cretan. Cretin. Show you what a Christian is.
It's funny that worked out. It's funny.
So it's going to describe
Were
which
those
people.
real people?
Just check them out. He gonna show you what they look like.
My boy, hold on. Let me get
Was
my.
that a deformity or is that like an actual like people?
You'll see.
We
We
in
looking up.
Oh, you got it up there.
Cretan, 1779, from French Cretan, 18th century, from the
Yeah.
Alpine dialect Crescenton,
My
a
favorite.
dwarf and deformed idiot. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I say
Oh,
Cretans all
stop
the
it.
time.
Stop
Right.
it. Stop it. This what
Of
am-
a
what is what?
type
Yeah,
formerly found in families of the alpine lands and conditions called the congenital deficit of a thyroid hormone. The word is uncertain of its origin, but by many has been identified with vulgar Latin Christianins as a Christian. A generic
Christensen,
term, Christensen, a generic term of anyone, but often with a sense of poor fellow relating.
like Cretinism.
Uh-uh.
Okay,
It's my favorite word. I use it
now
all the
we
time.
okay. Now we need a visual. I want you to just open up a Google. Um,
No, you don't need a visual.
Yeah, we do.
yes, we do.
You just got no. You just got to
Just
listen to
open up,
TikTok all
just
day.
open, just open up a Google window. I
You
want you to
crazy?
Dog,
put in
I did
Cretan.
already. I did. I
Oh,
did. This is actually a type of
I
people.
know,
That's
but
crazy, bro.
we
It's
gotta
a it's
show
a it's a very
everybody.
Cretan is just a very highly ignorant person.
Just open up a window.
Yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah, yeah, yeah,
search.
An
yeah.
Put in
ignoramus.
Cretan,
I got you. I
and
got you. I got you. I'm here with it. I'm
yep.
here with it.
And once you hit search, I want you to click on images.
I'm
That
already here with it. I'm already here with it.
that's what a Christian is.
Yeah,
That's
Christian.
what you have
Yeah,
to look
Christian
like
comes
to
from
be a Christian.
Christian comes from the word Cretan. Yes.
That's a real Christian right there. If you don't look like that, you shouldn't be calling yourself a Christian.
Uh,
Yes, that is 100% fact.
this here's a Cretan, ladies and gentlemen.
And they still exist today. Yeah, motorcycle clubs and everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been down this rabbit hole. I've been in etymology for over a decade, so I've been down it. Look, I'm gonna give you some other words, but more uplifting words to look up. You'll be like,
Matter
wow.
of fact, let me have you go back to that, and I want you to put in troglodyte nigger.
Oh God.
Oh, images?
Yep.
Oh, you look it up. Oh man, come on. We can turn this. Etymology can also be used not just for seeing what is in just a negative manner, but a great positive manner too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So after we finish up this troglodyte, hey, do me a favor and look up the etymology of black.
Oh, I got you. That's what's coming with troglodyte nigger.
No,
I'm gonna tie it all together. I got you.
no,
I
no,
got
no,
you.
no, no,
Oh
no.
Believe me.
yes, let's
Believe
get
They're
me.
it.
not connected. Oh,
Believe me. I got you.
they're not connected. No,
Okay.
they're not connected. They're troglodyte. No, just look up etymology of black. They changed the definition in the 15th century.
Hmm. Interesting.
That's a troglodyte nigger. Now you notice they use the word nigger in there, right?
They just
Hmm.
added all this bullshit though, man. But this is not really etymology, but oh man.
Okay. Now I want you to go to a website, scienceit.up.com.
Nah, let's just stay on the etymology. This shit. This shit.
Okay, let me know when you get there. It's spelled EroscienceItUp.com. You're gonna
Come on,
see a
man.
question mark, and I want you to scroll up and click next.
Motherfuckers, keep in mind the internet is a digital library, and and the dangers of having a digital library is that, especially on particular sites, people can upload, change things on the regular. We must keep. I don't know about you guys, but I do and have been for quite some time, and other people in my family just gathering a bunch of books, old
Yeah.
books, new books, all books for the other generations to pass down. Because the digital library can be highly manipulative, of
Then you
Mm.
course,
click next.
and that digital library is the internet. So you can't trust it.
She's
All right,
out.
you got it up there.
Yeah.
All right, click next. Then I want you to scroll up and click on where it says the word right there. Click on that.
But you do understand that's an add-on, right? Because that is a compound word. So the N bomb came. Somebody added that later just to be funny and disrespectful. They didn't come together.
Mhm.
We recognize that though, right? I'm just trying to state that fact.
Right.
You click where it say the word.
Yeah.
It should have loaded up another page.
This
Uh,
video
it did.
is private.
Oh, it's not showing on the screen. That's what it
Video
is.
available.
So the word list.
Somebody
Yeah.
drop it.
Yeah. You see where it says black?
Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Click click on that.
just looking at it.
That right there is from the Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary. It's gonna tell you what the word black means.
Well, just go to etymology. Yeah. Well, you talking about the Webster's?
I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them. I'm
Well,
gonna
I'm talking
do
about
that.
from the etymology.com. But
I got you. I got you.
Oh
I
wow.
got you, brother.
I don't know if you got me. I don't know if we on the same path. I'm gonna see though.
He gonna read it to you. You heard him say, "Oh God."
No, because
He not hard food.
it did some foolishness. Hold on. What was something?
It's probably all a bunch of viruses of the sites he telling you to go to.
Nah. It ain't that.
Motherfuckers lace that shit with viruses. It's about to start snowing. It look like.
Hey man, it's hot out there. All right, black. Mm, black and black, pale, wan, livid, Blasian, blaken, to become pale, to turn white, to become black, to become
No,
blackened, the black ink, black, pale, wan, livid, black, blinker, insolent, to expose to the sun, or to bleach, also to lighten, to flash,
no.
to bleach, pale, wan, bleak. There's a lot of bleaching going on in
Yeah,
this.
see, they just added extra
Just
bullshit. Go
let
to
him read. Just let him
etymology.com.
read, bro. Just let
Go
him
to
read.
etymology.com. They added a whole bunch of bullshit. That's it. The pale is there, but all that extra bleak shit, no. Come
Continue
on.
reading, family. You got it.
Go to etymology.com and put in the word black for me, bro. That's that extra shit people put in there just to add in black or white, the tank was actually the great knowledge in the word. It's a beautiful word, actually. Black is beautiful description. Look it up. Not the word beautiful itself, but I'm talking about it. The description in etymology.com,
All right.
what it was before, how they looked at us back in the 500, 700, 800 years ago.
Old English black, absolutely dark, observing all light. Black color, the suit of coal. From Proto
You
Germanic
want,
black is burnt. Source Old Norse blacker, dark. Old High German blah, black. Swedish black ink. Deutsch blacken, to burn.
find the Latin origins.
Mm, 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 mm. To blaze, glow, burn.
Yes, to blaze, to glow.
From roots to shine, flash, burn. Old English, the word black was to swart.
I mean, yeah. Well, swarry. Swarry is an old word that it's also a synonym for black. When they say you had swarry skin back in the day, that
Okay.
means you was dark skinned.
Yeah, for
Do you see shining?
Mm-mm. It said to shine, but that's in the in Bell.
Yeah. Okay. To shine. That's black. To glow. To shine. That's beautiful things.
Read the next paragraph.
All right. The same root produced in Middle English, black, pale from Old English, black, bright, shining, glittering, pale.
Black, shining, glittering.
The connecting of the notions of being perhaps fire, bright, to burn, dark, perhaps the absence of color. According to the Old English Dictionary and Middle English, it is often doubtful whether the black or Blake means black, dark or pale, colorless, wan, livid. The
Right, because black was not considered a color. It was considered a substance that all the colors derive from.
all right, and the surname Blake can either mean one pale complexion or one dark complexion. Mm. It's a wide open spectrum right there, though.
Yeah. Now, if you go to the Black's Law Dictionary, that is a social political label for today for people of lesser rights, secondhand citizens more so. And white in the Black's Law Dictionary, people of the first-hand citizens with the highest rights.
I'm gonna just say this: read it for yourself and come to your own conclusion. I don't want to guide your mind in any particular direction.
No,
Right.
everybody should get a Black's Law Dictionary though. Black's Law Dictionary is in any library, is in every library, is in any law offices, and that also connect more dots.
yeah,
I got a PDF copy of everything. I'm gonna go ahead and share one with you. Share it to you, D.
Okay. So in the search, look it up black
No, look up ethnicity now.
and in the Black's Law Dictionary.
Yes, ethnic. Now that one is the catch. That's why I don't allow ethnic.
All right. Shit. I got ethnic marketing. Let me see. That's ethnic marketing.
Etymology of ethnic.
Oh, yeah, in etymology. I'm in Black Laws Dictionary looking up that shit.
Oh, damn. The origin of ethnic.
I stopped sharing. I'm thinking I'm doing something else. Where bro go? Uh, 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 Late 15th century, early 15th century, pagan, heathen,
Heathen,
from the Latin ethnicius, from Greek ethnikos,
atheist too.
uh, Latin nation, national, by some writings, adopted by the genius of customs of people, peculiar to a people among the grammarians, suited to be the manner of language for foreigners, and ethnos, the band of people living together in a nation of people, tribe, caste, also used the sworn of flocks, animal, properly people of one owns kind. Huh. It's some tough shit. Heathen, who is not Christian or Jew. Amazing. We be fucking up.
Be funny. What you say, D?
We be fucking up. Bro, I was just telling him earlier today. I was like, the fact of the matter is this. Uh, we don't know shit.
No,
Yeah, I thought so.
fucking heathen, bro. And I be hearing people say ethnicity, ethnic group. You know, I was like, I guess because when you learn it, you can't unlearn anymore. That's the hard part of that. Which you like, wow. Then every time somebody says it around you, you feel a way. You like, you want to say something, but it might be thrown back. You be like, So I just say, look, to do the etymology to the verse now. All the like,
It's funny the ways I hear it though. Ethnicity is used by certain people one way, and then I always hear you look ethnic.
yeah,
Like so, there's obviously two like different levels of it. So
yeah.
you're right.
But hear how when you get full understanding of the word, then you start listening to the news, and you
Yep.
listen to it quite often. You listen to how they frame or use the word ethnic. You would see how they are using it, um, very very disguised though in a way where it's not applying to everybody but Anglo-Saxon.
True.
Listen, you gotta hear it
If
though.
you're not that, then you're ethnic. Ethnic from the other side that I know it is, you're just not white.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it said in short, it said heathen means uncivilized. So you hear that shit them talk about say that shit on the news and in different on everything. I'd be like, oh. But here's why I had to come to my own realizations that maybe those people don't even look up the etymology of the word. They probably don't. A lot of people talking don't even know what they're saying when they're speaking. They don't know the original, but it's people out there, the higher ups that do know what the origins of that word mean. And
Right.
so that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And other scholars, they do know what that means. But we in a world where we just casually use a word that's really offensive to us, and you'll be talking to somebody. I've spoken to dudes, some wild motherfuckers in the Library of Congress, right? I mean, wildly understanding of history, knowledgeable of history and knowledge and of language. And and I hear them talk and everything, and they use it accordingly because they recognize that majority around don't understand the words. But I asked this one dude, I'm like, how does it feel when you know you're using the words ethnicity, blase blase, in your mind, you know it's offensive, and the people you're speaking to, mind, you know they don't know that that word is offensive, and but you use it and you go along with the game. You just go along, you know, to get along with everything. And he never gave me an answer. He gave me that, and
I
I
feel
was
the
just,
same way when I hear minority.
absolutely.
I'm like, I'm trying to fight my brain to not. It's like, wait, let me get the context that you guys are using it in because that has nothing to do with numbers. Like,
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, okay. Once you get deep in this, you start. What you need to do is start breaking down words. All right, because all words are compound words. It's not just a word where you just took two words and added. Every word is a compound word. Every syllable is actually a word itself within the dictionary. I started learning this shit as an adolescent. Imagine how isolated I am from other people and how we speak. So, what is the base word for minority?
Minimal.
minor,
No, minor.
minor.
They minor. So
Well,
your issue,
I meant men, like MIN. That's why I said minimal. But
I got you, but it's minor.
mm,
All your issues is minor. And how I look, ingest things in the scope of the grand scale. So I refuse to rebuke anybody for saying call themselves fucking minority. I say, how the fuck you gonna call you something that's subjecting yourself or subjugating yourself to something lower, and then you're not a minority on the earth in general. You're not a minority on the earth. I like fuck the United States. Just putting yourself, oh, boy, in the United States. This is the oh, but I'm a minority in the States. No, fuck all of that, bro. No,
all
you're
right,
actually a majority on the earth.
all right.
Don't stop using fucking saying calling yourself a fucking minority.
Okay. You know what? It's a great time to shout out to
And
Myron
it's
and Ms. Sweetest
my
for
bad. I get
segment. That's real quick. We're gonna get back to it, but I
I
I
get
want
amped.
I want y'all. No, you good. You good. I want y'all to see this. This is something that has always stuck out of my mind, and it fucked me up the other day, and I didn't realize how when I first watched this, it didn't move me until I actually watched it again. I couldn't help but die laughing. So
Hello, this is Gavin.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm here to ask you for your help.
You know what? I would love to, but I just don't have the time.
And you ain't black.
Hello? Hello?
The plan I have is for black America. I look forward to seeing you in person.
Why would you do that?
You ain't black.
Listen,
and you ain't black.
What? Oh my God.
You got more questions?
What is your deal? Huh? Stop. Don't you dare hang up that fucking phone, okay?
Me or Trump?
What if I wanted to?
You ain't black.
What? You motherfucker! Oh my God! You
That
son
shit
of
is
a bitch!
hilarious.
I want a larger share of the black vote than anybody
Fuck
has.
you, man! Fuck you! Well, I hope
You ain't black.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
That shit is
So, like, I'm gonna just be all the way 100 with you. So I had made a comment on a content creator on YouTube, Black Macho, right? This is how I even got to TikTok. So I'm explaining, like, just because you're mixed doesn't mean that you have to be light skinned. Like, you can be, being mixed doesn't play to skin complexion or hair texture, right? Like, you can
right.
be mixed with, it doesn't have to be with anything. So I'm explaining how my mom, who identifies herself as black, but she's a Native American, she's Dene and Mescalero Apache. Mescalero Apaches are dark. They come in black. as the
You
other
ain't
people
black.
in America, as the people like to say. So I'm like saying what I'm saying, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm Papuan and I'm Dene. Like I have, like I'm indigenous on both sides, and more closely related to Aboriginal. So this girl comes on and she's like, well, didn't you just say your mom ain't black? And I was like, well, some people identify themselves with an AKA race, and some people identify with genetics. I identify with genetics. She's going to tell me in the comments, well, here in America, we use black as a race and an ethnicity, and it's giving, I have black friends. I was like, ooh, 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 okay. Ma'am, are you
Yeah.
okay? But to be told that you're not black, I think it's triggering for a lot of people. But
Okay.
for her to specifically say here in America we use black as a race and ethnicity, I was sitting there like, and then you mentioned ADOS and FBA, like I'm so confused. Do you even know what you're saying? Or are you regurgitating things?
No, they don't. Okay. And because, oh man, I went through that shit in my 20s. This word, fighting with this word black for a long time. And I was forever saying, no, I'm not black, I'm brown, such and such. Then I realized you gotta realize your lonely state when most of the people ain't studying what you're studying, reading, and you talk around people, try to put them on, and they're not going to gravitate to it. And then God say, bro, this is for you, not for everybody. So okay, so I call myself black just to I'm blending in. Really, I'm going along to get along. And it's a social political label, simply as that. If you go in Black's Law Dictionary, it gives you understanding of how the law looks at this word, looks at the word white as well, and everything. And then it makes more understanding. But you can't really don't you can't waste your energy arguing with a lot of those people, because if their mind is made up, it's made up. And it's going to do nothing but, they're going to pull you down to them first, try to pull you into anger.
Yeah.
You can't do it. That's why I come on this goddamn panel, this fucking sight and act a fool sometimes, just fucking around. Cause like, man, if I can't take it too serious, because I know it's gonna fall on deaf ears a lot of stuff. Now I know they say, well, yo, once you get one, you get two, you did it. No, I'll be honest, I'm trying to make a harder impact than that. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning my ways of communication so I could be so concise and precise with as few words possible, and to try to penetrate the defensive mechanism around people that's guarding them or blocking them from really being receptive to new information and not getting cognitive dissonance. Will I be able to reach everybody, be perfect with that? No. But I'm still learning to be the best I can with it. That's the whole goal.
See, and that's exactly why whenever I'm like codified, I appreciate you so much, because I haven't run across any other people on TikTok that I can actually communicate with, or I don't get triggered by. Like, I understand what they're saying, and most people don't. Like, even with men, I'm like, I don't know if you're at my maturity level, because you're using so many words. Men are a little bit more concise. So now I feel like I'm not even gonna do that. Like, no.
Hey, Gemini,
Yes, sir.
can I count on your vote?
My
You ain't black.
You can count on me to vote for myself.
Hey, Veli. Yo, Veli.
Really sweet. Really down.
Veli over there trying to fill up a laundry.
Oh wow.
But the part that really gets me is like when they bring up history and they be like, well, the Europeans, and they don't even have a clue what Europeans, like, it's like they don't think that we were there. They don't like think that, like, so just think about it. When you think about when they're telling us these stories, they're talking about these Europeans and their slaves, you're automatically thinking white. No one ever like it's even when they bring up slavery here in America, it's like there were black slave owners too. So I feel like when I'm listening to certain people based on how they formulate their argument, it's like I'm gonna just exit because this is gonna trigger me because it's too much to try to explain to them.
This is crazy. Hold on. How the fuck was that? These are some pretty
It's really not a whole lot to explain. If you honestly, it is, but it isn't. The thing you're running up against is that they're in a state that they are not trying to hear you, regardless of what you're saying. That's the thing.
So this crazy thing is, you go in here and you pull up Moors, and you can pretty much base Moors in all of these places of the world, but they are completely stuck on Spain.
Yes, exactly, right? Because they're trying to minimize their presence and their impact on history. That's all that is. Because now, listen, okay, you know what a fine example of it? Right now, today, right? When we make jokes, when we say shit like, oh shit, man, you live out here at Timbuktu. We are referring to somebody who lives out there in the boonies or sticks or woods, right? Away from the center of the center of the city, center of civilization or reality, right? That is um that is meant to be that way. Timbuktu was actually the capital of the Moors. It was in West Africa. So, and Timbuktu was a capital. It was an empire, a dynasty, and that was the capital for the Moors. And this came after the Roman Empire, and they lasted 700-800 years. When we come upon 15th century and then the Spanish Inquisition, all those things are coming in chronological and sequential order, had an effect on each other, which therefore later on creates America after them. Because because what happened is the
why this is believable?
The jewelry and the Islam combined together to go against and take down the Moors. That's what happened. When I say
I learned that they changed the language a long time ago when I found out like the simple stuff, like the true meaning of a Nimrod and stuff like that. They just rewrote the words. So we
right.
use
Well, you
the
gotta
power
understand.
of it.
Yeah, the jewelry. If you see the base word of what I'm saying, when I say jewelry, right? The base word of that is what? So they was the bookkeepers. Exactly what they were. They created exactly what they do today. The DeBergs back then, what they did back then is exactly what they do today. Books, dealing with the precious metals and everything. Their shit has not changed. How they operate. They just expanded, of course, in different areas. And one of those areas is in education. The other one of those areas is in law, legislation. But the core, you go any jewelry all around this place, a lot of them is ran by Jews. That's the core. That's roots. That's historic. So, so that's what they combined to take down those North Africans that was running Spain, kicking with also aligned with Portuguese, and all that whole area. Your boy Charlemagne, they didn't get no further up north than Spain because Charlemagne, okay, King Charles, forced them back. It wouldn't allow them to get any more further up. So it was a big war during that time, and that was the war of 1022. That was the war of Norman conquest. After Norman conquest came after they got that. Charlemagne also, yes, King Charles. Charles the
Wasn't
First.
King Charles? Wasn't was he deformed?
I don't know if he was deformed or anything. I know back
He was a
then it was all the different Saxons. You have the Anglos, Saxons, and the Coots. And all of them was all spread around, even the Nordics. Whereas King Charles is called Father of Europe because he united all of Europe,
Yes.
the
Okay.
Nordics,
Yes. King
everybody,
Charles. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is what I've
aka
been like
Charlemagne.
researching. What I've been researching like recently because I was going into the Blue Bloods and I was going over how they have all the depictions of these people look like YT people and they're really not. But he had I think he had like an oversized jaw and an oversized tongue due to
Okay,
excessive inbreeding.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it, like, and him, and then he had like a cousin that was like double cousin. She was like the considered to be the pretty one, but they were all of them were black inbreds.
Mm-mm-mm. First Romeo and Juliet kissing brothers, and now this.
Well, it goes back to Dee's original question about the status of position. What we have to understand is, yeah, the quote unquote Roman Empire fell, but it didn't. It just split apart. There's still the Holy Roman Empire, which is the Catholic Church, and then there were the the various factions that split off, like you were talking about, as far as the Saxons and all of these different factions that ended up becoming what we know as Europe. It's the Roman Empire. And yes, there was the fight with the Moors, which was the turnover of, excuse me, it was the turnover of how we actually view the world. Because the authority on traveling the world were the Moors. It was the African civilization. So the flip of the world, because again, if you understand far back enough in history, the orientation that we looked at the world was different. And if you have any question of that, just look at a map of Egypt. There's a portion of Egypt that's known as Lower Egypt. And then there's a portion of Egypt known as Upper Egypt. If you look at it on the map as we look at it today, Upper Egypt is more south than Lower Egypt. Why would that be?
Because they flipped the map. I don't know.
Exactly. That's exactly why. So the turn of knowledge from who was what was what, and how things happened, all happened within this same, the changeover in history of who people were and the beginning of racism, white supremacy as we know
So the funny thing, right? At the San Francisco Zoo, um, no, the Oakland Zoo, on the ground they have a compass, and on that compass there's writings. It's somebody's name, but when you look at it, when you read the name, it's flipped. So it's literally like when I looked at that, I'm like, wait a minute, why is so west is east and south is north? So I'm sitting here standing on this thing and I'm trying to read it, and I just took a picture of my feet. I'm gonna post it. But I was like, they be telling us the truth without telling us the truth, but you gotta know what you're looking at.
Yep. Our orientation was originally up south, down north.
Yeah, I wasn't too certain, but I felt like that was what it was because when I was trying to have a conversation with somebody, they try to use the magnetic poles and all this other stuff. And I was just like, yeah, but if you really want to win a war, wouldn't you like the target would be the communication and then messing with the maps?
All right, Myra, you ain't gotta
It's kind of simple.
turn your camera off. We on YouTube.
I know. Well,
Spoken.
it's a fucking habit that TikTok gave me to. I know, you're right. So,
Spoken.
hey, D, you said something important, right? So connect the top. You say they only could find where everywhere Moors was, they only could find it to seem like it was just Spain, right?
Mhm.
But if you correlate it to the first European power that started going everywhere around the world was who? Spain. And what is symbol of that is look at all the Spanish-speaking countries on this side of the hemisphere. That was their impact. They got them so using alchemy and the science because all the Moors were Masons, the upper echelon. That's what your man said that shit yesterday. I just kind of twisted without trying to be offensive and directed it to the obelisk and where they began, which was in North Africa, Central Africa, to Sudan. But masonry started in Africa. So in all the Masons, whether you're Prince Hall joint or the other ones, they know that. They got it from that. But because they taught them. But look where everywhere Spain, every place is Spanish speaking right now. And Spanish, we know, originated in Spain. So that lets you know that's the more they was while they was ruling Spain, they was hitting all these other continents at the same time. This is the shit they don't connect and let you don't realize because they're never connected in history for you or tell you. You have to be like, God damn, okay. Spain ruled every fucking thing at one point. And they had a head start on technology given to them by the Moors. Because we know they was in the dark ages. They was dying from famine, measles, chicken pox, smallpox, and everything. And syphilis. And the Moors came up there and cleaned up Europe. That's fact. That's documented in the Library of Congress. All this shit, measles, chickenpox, mumps, syphilis, those are all these things we have today originated in Europe. And then when it go through, they call that point when it's in history, you learn in school, the Renaissance period. Right, that was the Renaissance after we done already, we taught them everything, was there chilling 700-800 years, got everything. They got their shit together and got us, committed a war to get us out of there. But what we also have to acknowledge is the Moors was using them as slaves too. Everybody gonna get their keep. Moors was using them as slaves. The word slave comes from the word Slav itself.
Slavic. Like this, so when that's what I said, like when people are thinking, the Europeans came over here with their slaves, you're thinking that white people came over here with black people, and it's like, no, even the redcoats.
You was about to go full on TikTok on YouTube,
huh? I'm just saying, like, if you think about it, if we were the one, so it's like,
look, I got this book at the house, right, y'all? It's called the timeline of everything in history. The timeline of everything in history. Everybody should get that because it's probably a book that many people don't have, and it's a newer book. It's the timeline of everything in history, and I glazed through that shit. It was like, and they leave out shit, but if you know already quite a bit of stuff, you can connect the dots to be like, oh, okay, wow, it's something, man. But yeah, to completely try to
like me because I connect the dots easily.
Do you notice in our history, the Roman Empire What was the Roman Empire over, bro? Just think about it. The Roman Empire was over in like fucking like 800, like around 800 AD. What the fuck was going on in that whole, I mean, 800, 900 AD? What the fuck was going on in that whole 800 years in between that? Before, of course, Christopher Columbus.
They
Don't
say
you notice in history it's a big 800 gap that they don't never teach us in school? Just think about that.
they say it was over then, but it wasn't. It still isn't, and that's the thing. It's they just changed the names of things, and they obscured actually what really happened. So if we're going to be honest, we have to talk about the time period from where the Greeks and Romans, as we knew them, were dark people, and that's the 700-800 years you're not talking. You don't want to talk about.
The Greeks were
Yeah.
black. Romans were
No, they
black.
weren't. No, they weren't. But they were mixed.
They're
They had a lot of
yeah,
mix. They had a lot of mixed amongst them. But no, they're
yes.
originally original. They had a lot, but they did have a lot of mixed um
The reason, well, when it comes to the
of
Greeks,
mixtures around there because the Greeks was because Alex that's due to Alexander. You know, I mean, of Macedon or Alexander the Great or of Alexander the Greek, whatever you want to know. Alexander went down there to Nubia land of Nubia, Kemet, and fucking fell in love and realized how much the technology advanced in technology they were. Because Alexander and them to them was nothing but brutes and barbarians. These people's already like living more peaceful and civilized worlds and gaining technology. Imhotep and all of that was still there alive. So that's why when you go, if you read on the father of Western medicine, I'm sorry, yeah, they call him the father of Western medicine, which is what we call it, uh, you know who I'm talking about. But it start with the H, right?
Hippocrates.
Hippocrates. It's here in the Library of Congress. He says, I'm a child of Imhotep. Yes. A black, multi-African, I mean, multi-inventor, a multi-genius back in that day. Multi-genius of everything. And he was teaching all, in the Greeks, Alexandria, of course, named after Alexander. They was bringing Greeks from people from Macedon and Greek down to Alexander, which is in North Africa, to learn from the great African scholars there, the Nubians,
yeah,
the Egyptians.
my grandmother's friend, her neighbor,
Plato
they
was
came
with them
from
too.
Greece.
Plato
They
was with
came
them.
from Greece.
Socrates and Philo was also with them. I got the book of Philo, I got the book of Philo, and I got the book of other. Thick as hell. It's a lot of reading, but Jesus Christ. But yeah, dude, it was so they started bringing all the Greeks down there and everything, kids to learn from the Africans. But I'm just saying, it's a big gap. That when I realized, like, what happened after the Romans, and then where we just then jumped from 900 or 800 BC to all of a sudden just like 1500s, and I'm like, what happened all that time between? When I was young, that's what made me start looking like, oh, they just like completely want to omit or leave out that entire 700-800 years, and those were the Moors Ring and Timbuktu, because the capital was still right there in northern West Africa, beneath Mali today. And you have the Dogon tribe, and that's what I was talking about. Benjamin Banneker, all those dudes was Moors. So that's why you were talking about what I was saying, like the clock. You know what I mean? A lot of this basis of technology here was the Moors brought here, and still was helping the made a bond. A lot of them was still helping the the Portuguese, Spaniard, and the pilgrims that came here, settlers, Europeans, the Jews. A lot of them were Jews. So, but it was mixed up with everybody. But anyway, let me shut up. But Yeah, 700, 800 years. We were never taught that in school. You got to ask yourself why. Because who was reigning then?
Black folk, African.
That's a big gap to leave out in world history, in history class. Ain't that something? But we don't know no better when we're young.
Even when they bring up, even when the slavery is brought up here in America, they don't bring up the white criminals. They don't bring up how all the different ways that it was used. And then again, if
Yeah,
you were
because
told that black slave masters came over here with their white slaves, how
a
far is
lot of
that
them
really going to
did.
go?
That no, some of that
How
was true.
far is that? It is. That's what I'm saying. How far is that going to go?
Fuck,
So you
I don't put
gotta.
it on a black or white thing because I don't put it on a black or white thing. That's the thing. I don't. I'm just looking at it. It was groups in power. They enslaved their own, and then they sold their own to um the the conquistadors. Well, the people, the pirates who's going on conquest to go and start a new land. And so and we don't want to talk about it, but shit, I mean, if you want to believe just that gunpowder and shit stopped a few Europeans from coming down and controlling Africa, you stupid. No, that shit was we got control from inside. It was our own who turned on our own, okay, and that was it. And they was willing to go ahead and sell us to Europeans or whatever that was going to a new land. But we were sold by our own. So that's why they try to change the word. Said no, they only had indentured servants and they was prisoners of war. They only doing that to, what I mean, absolve themselves of any guilt. But Ghana came clean. And if Ghana was down there, Ghana came clean. The Ashanti came clean. Ashanti and Asante. They came clean. It's like, yo, sorry, pardon for our involvement in this. If y'all want to come back, we got land and everything for you. You can get citizenship. But fuck it. I want my citizenship in North Africa because that's where a lot of our ancestors really came from. They migrated to the West, East, and all that. But I would go to Morocco of any place. I would go to Morocco and handle that. And
I have a
that's what
coworker. He's Moroccan. He's from Morocco, and he gets so mad because people call him Habibi, and he be like, "My dad is black. I'm African." I be like, "Habibi, it's okay," because he looks like Habibi. He had me dying because he was serious. He was so serious, but he basically was also saying like, "This is between me and you. Like, I'm really a black man. My mom and my dad are from Morocco, but my dad is an African." So I'm like, oh, and he's like, yeah, and he's looking at me, and he's really from Morocco. He's only been here a couple years. And he's like, yeah, and these fuckers call me Habibi, Habibi. I know fucking Habibi, and I'm like, oh, snap.
that's silly. That's funny. But anyway,
But that just goes to show how little people really know,
yeah, we
or
don't.
what
Yeah,
they
we
know
only
and
hitting the
how they
crust.
express it.
Yeah, we only have
Okay.
to crust the shit. We really only have to crust. So I'd be like, oh, man, it's hard work. The great people, the great people of this, they were the internal fortitude to be a true leader on this world and this world. It's you got to be a very, very, very and develop yourself to a very, very, very strong man. Have the mind to like, okay, whatever is going to come is going to come. You know, that is a man I want to be one day. A man I'm aiming to be. But that is work. That is you got to just like, you know, you got to be driven. You got to just like that's the only purpose for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things too, D. Like, I don't know if he's still in here. That's one of the things that stops me from dating. Honestly, it's
What?
hard to date. It's hard to date when like somebody is stuck on like, well, we're black. You're black, and I'm like, yo, we can be black outside, but when I want to sit down and have like a realistic conversation, I don't want to be sitting here listening to you just telling me that you're African. Then, well, I don't identify as African. It's like you're guessing stuff. You're guessing. You ain't doing no type of work, no type of research. anything I give to you, you don't even like care. Like it, because it's a certain level of intelligence that I'm looking for, and I need to learn from someone. So where I'm at, I'm literally having to go to like online, and I'm finding people that are like-minded. But when it comes to like people in real life, they want to hold on to the black card and whoa, it's me and
Well,
all this other stuff, and I'm
people in
like,
your group, right? People in your immediate group, you mean?
yeah,
You
yeah. So
want
I
the
have
average
to reach
person. The
far.
average person, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So it's a little
I
hard.
don't even like using Africa. I don't even say Africa because it's that's what it is today. I mean countries and everything change names all the time. I don't like even saying the word Africa. So I don't like. Oh man, that's not the original name of the continent. Well, but they gave it the name. I don't like saying Ethiopia. I don't like even saying none of those words. Ethiopian is the same as saying black, but most people don't know
Yeah.
that. So it's just like I'm stuck. I'm like, I'm gonna be on the island on myself talking with a lot of people. I'm like, man, this sucks. And they're like, so when when the saying comes, ignorance is bliss. I really started to understand that shit as I kept learning and learning because knowledge can be a burden, a tremendous fucking burden, bro. You find yourself lonely. So it's a choice.
I agree. I agree with you. I really do. It's frustrating. Like when I first started finding out the truth and nobody else understood what I was saying. And I'm like, I had all these questions and I'm trying to bounce ideas off of people. I just felt so alone. And I was like, I wish I didn't know this because now I feel like I need to go look at something else. Now I gotta look at something else and things that are sticking out at me. Like my friends walk right by it. I'm like, you didn't notice that? Like, look at that. And they're like, nah. Like, and it's like, you just tripping. And I'm like, no. So they think I'm a conspiracy theorist. They think all kinds
Right,
of
right.
all
Everything's a
kinds of weird
conspiracy
stuff.
theorist.
Let them think that. It's
I
true.
hate that daggone. I hate that damn word now, conspiracy theorist. I'm like, oh my god. So I made this video on Facebook a long time ago on I broke down the word conspiracy because those are three different words. Con, C-O-N, spire, S-P-I-R-E, and AC. AC is actually a word. Most people, I'm sure, just thought that was a suffix. You can go ahead right now, go in your Oxford Dictionary and look up the word AC. ACY. That's an actual individual word of its own. So, um, conspire AC. Conspire AC. You look up those words to do the reverse orientation to them and put them in backwards and see what it means. It means a completely different language, a different word. It is a different language, but it's a different word, different meaning totally. But anyway, I'm gonna upload that video one day just to see how people think about it. But I made that shit probably a long, like 7 years ago.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, we have to get a full understanding of history to understand where we are. And
I can't hear him. He's mumbling.
can you hear me now?
You a
No,
little
sir.
low.
All right. I don't know what's going on with this. I may have to drop out. But can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes, we can, but you're still low. I don't know. Turn on the volume on your phone.
I'm not on my phone. I'm
Oh,
not on my phone. Yeah. Let me check one other thing. But yeah, we have to get a better understanding of history and where we stand. We don't. It's it's way deeper than what we give credit for anyway. And we have to kind of have that understanding that most people don't get it.
yeah. Well, the acceptance. You have to accept that most people, the vast majority, are not going to get it. Yeah.
How does that?
That's better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sound great now. You clear.
Yeah. We have to understand that there is a overarching view that we have to have when we look at where we are and where other people are. There's so many different levels that have gone into keeping people at a certain place
Yeah.
so they don't have the knowledge to turn over the broken system.
Let me add one thing. It's not even what was really is lacking is not even necessarily the knowledge. It's really necessarily the curiosity, inquisitiveness to want just to ask a question or to even see. I mean, want to see that's like, wow, what is that? Let me look that up. That the curiosity has been killed out of people. You know what I mean?
Right. It's sad. It really is sad because I don't I wouldn't even say it's the curiosity that's been killed because
Inquisitiveness
I think we still have that. I think what it is
is
a
is directed in
tamping
the wrong
down of the
places.
spirit. Right. It definitely is directed to the wrong places. And we've accepted the paradigm that they've given us. And we think that that's the only way to work within it, that we have to work within that
I
paradigm.
agree. Yes, I agree with that 100%.
And so in that,
It's a combination. Yeah.
yeah, until we get a different way to look at things. Like I was just saying this I was saying this earlier today. Human beings, as we know them, are some of the most arrogant creatures.
Yes.
We s- Listen, we live on a planet that's two-thirds water, and we, the supposedly highest form of intelligence on the landmass of this planet that is two-thirds water, think that we are at the top of the food chain.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. We are with our inventions. Without them, we're at the top of the food chain as far as reasoning and having a mind that can, um, on to some level, outthink the other animals. But yeah, I think we are, but then we're not.
I would challenge that because we can't even explore what most of this planet is covered with fully.
Well, you mean in the water? I
Yeah, in
understand.
the water. In the
Yeah.
water. So on the land, we're just automatically just arrogant because we think that because we're on the land, no, there's more in the water. Goofy.
And in space, because the Earth is in space. So
Indeed.
we want to take it, but yeah, absolutely.
I seen a meme earlier that said, "I killed my ego, so now I'm better than all of you." And I'm like,
That
spoken like a human.
that is a good challenge for. I mean, man, to kill the ego. I think that will make us a lot more, um, the world a lot better, though.
I think a lot of these women need to check that ego that they have, which is
Yeah,
never really
I'm
spoken
just
of
saying
enough. I
in general.
really
Yeah,
feel like, yeah, and this is the thing. Like, I think a lot of the real reason why I really think we can't get anywhere is because we love to place blame on somebody and we love to be the victim. And I say that because there's been many times where I was like, okay, when I think about systematic racism,
it's fucking
right?
snowing again. Shit.
I think about systematic racism, and then like when you start going into Black Law's dictionary and you start going into more science, and then you're like, okay, well, is Lady Justice really blind? Because it doesn't say that child support is for fathers. It says for the absent parent. Like a lot of stuff does not say or include gender and who it's specifically for, right? And then like I was watching a video of this guy and he was talking about how he was scammed so bad that he literally decided to work with the person who scammed him out of like a couple $1,000s. And I was sitting there thinking, like, what if this was all a game? And what if we have been tricked to think that we're supposed to look at the other person and be like, you're the reason, but the system is set up to where everybody has access, but the smaller people in place are the ones that's making everything difficult. Because my family owned properties. My family came from Louisiana and they came out to Oakland and built churches. My grandfather owned businesses, opened up the first Black exotic pet store. So I think proximity matters, like area matters. But when I started thinking about how much we were able to really accomplish as a whole, and when you think about power and what power really wants, it's like, because power wants other people that have power. If it's a greed there, the greed wouldn't stop you because of a color if you have a resource that they need. So when I sit back and look at everything, I have like a different perspective based on what I've seen, not just what I've heard, but then compare it to what people are saying, if that makes sense.
I get you. That's the tricky part about America as we know it. And I say it that way because I spell it with three K's. There's there is a race aspect. There is also a caste or a class aspect to all of this as well. And that's what we fail to recognize, how it's all interwoven into the same thing. Capitalism in itself is one of the things that's actually destroying the way we're able to function on the planet. Uh, if we look at what America did, there was either you were either getting a free resource or free labor, and that's how capitalism worked to set up those who have to be the haves and those who don't to be the have-nots, to be the workers, to be the working class. So yeah, there's both that are both. There's even more than two. There's all kinds of things that are intertwined in it, and it's what we struggle with is finding the simplest, easiest thing to be able to identify it. And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong, because there is the aspect of skin color, but then there's the other things that go on around it. And so that's why we can have perspectives like yours, and there can be people who actually have lived a perspective of, I'm black and that's all I know.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, and I totally respect that perspective and that point of view. But those are usually the people that get at me at like, oh well, people who have privilege are blind to their privilege. It's like true indeed. I'm not gonna deny that, but we all have choices, and you're bound to get no's. When you're in sales, you're taught that you're gonna get 100 or 1,000 no's before you're gonna get a yes. It's like when I'm listening to the LGBTQ community, like there was like D just had a panel up the other day, and it was two two ladies that had jumped up there, and I already knew that they were going to try to play some sort of game with D when D was just trying to get like a clear understanding of like all of these analogies based on the live that had happened earlier. So I get up there, and everything was like, well, it's a phobia, and if you don't agree, and it's all this stuff, and it's like I'm sitting back listening to this, and it's like I don't have any type of, I don't have a dog in that fight, and based on where I'm at locally, that's all that I'm really surrounded by. A lot of people don't know much about San Francisco except for that community, or that is, like back in the 80s and the 90s, it's like, don't nobody want to go there because it's a whole bunch of that community, right? But I'm realizing that a lot of people want to be accepted, or they have a perception of how life should be, and then they impose it onto other people. And then it's like they don't want to have an open mind. They don't want to have a dialogue. Like, they are literally they're listening to defend whatever they have going on just so they can play the victim. And it's like, no, nobody is saying that you are wrong. And I tell people all the time, like, I don't give you information to change your mind. That is never what my goal is. But my goal is to get you to see that you're only looking out of this small portion of the window, and there's this whole big window. I'm not trying to steer what you're looking at, but I do want you to understand that you're looking at it from a very small space. Because that's how I've gotten to this perspective. This is how I've gotten to the place where it's like, well, maybe I should learn more, because I've learned about the caste system in India when I was like, I don't know, 5th grade. And I saw that was happening here. So I knew that it was financial more than it was color, if that makes sense.
Well, see, and that's the thing. It's intertwined here because, yes, so for instance, let me ask you this. If there were a bunch of rich white folks and rich black folk, is there still going to be a difference in treatment between them?
I think so.
Exactly. So, see, that's the thing that I mean. Like, yes, it's about finances, but it's still also there's still going to be this race thing. And if we're going to be honest, that's what America is. It's meant to, and that's the English language that we're speaking here as well. Is duplicitous. It's supposed to be confusing to us because if we actually get out of it and gain that balance and fix it, things look a whole lot different.
Yeah, like my baby had came to me when Trump was talking about building this wall to keep out, people. And my daughter was just like, but isn't South America still America? I'm looking at her like, it is. So she brought me a different perspective of just questioning, like, wait a minute, you know, um, you're in America, but you're gonna tell people that are in America that you don't want them in America.
Yeah, and that's
And
when
I
we
was
have to be
like,
more specific. You mean the United States of America? You mean the
yes.
landmass of North America? You mean the hemisphere of North and South America? There's all of that
Hmm.
together, and again, we got imaginary lines that are drawn. We have lost culture, which is as far as the what we would call ethnic groups, even though I don't like using that term anyway. But we've lost culture, and because we've lost culture, we don't have a connection to our languages, our history, our real history, and understand what's going on. So that's why when you can identify as your culture, but quote unquote black Americans see you as black, that's what they have. They don't have the culture. They don't have that family tie to I'm from this tribe and this is what the traditions that we practice. A lot don't have that anymore.
And I see that, and I do understand it, which is why I don't have a lot to say. Like, I don't have any type of rebuttal. However, growing up, it was very hard on me, knowing who I was, knowing what tribe I came from, knowing what my culture is, knowing um about certain things. You know what I'm saying? So growing up and having an identity rich in culture, um, I had a hard time maneuvering through school. Like it was okay when I lived in the non-black neighborhoods, like when I lived in the Filipino, the city is basically all Filipino. Um, I went to Spanish immersion schools. I was fine there. But when I went to the black school, it's like, well, what you mix with? Which one of your parents is white? Neither. Oh, you lying. Like I dealt with a whole bunch of people who thought that I was lying, basically. That was the energy that I got. You're a liar. You just want to be different. You just want, and it's like, it doesn't make me better than anyone.
I think that's one of the things that, for instance, Africans when they come to this country, I think there's a different understanding where you should be able to be proud of your culture, but still understand that you're going to have to fit into this category. Again, this is America, and we're going to talk about the masses, not the smart individuals who know more. But you have to understand that there's still in America, there's still this thing called black. You can be proud of your culture, but if you fit into black, not only are black people, white people are going to also see you as black. So there are going to be different groups of people who see you the same way, and they're still not going to quite understand what you have. But that's that internal thing, that internal pride that you have, so that you can pass that on to your children and your children's children about who you are and what your family is. But still, again, hold on to that thing of being black, because that is actually one thing that does unify us in America, at least.
I agree. Like I don't just shake it. You know what I mean? Like I define it. Like when people are like, "Oh, so you're black, you're African American," I'll tell them that I'm black, but I'm Melanesian. And then it's like, "Oh, what is that?" You know what I mean? So instead of like making it seem like, "Oh, well, black isn't a thing," like like because you like dealing with the Israelite, like dealing with the Hebrew Israelite is the most irritating thing that I've ever done in my life. Um, I studied under them for a few years. And the one thing that really annoyed the mess out of me was them walking up to people and then telling them who they were. Like, that is so disingenuous. Like, you don't get far with that.
Mhm.
So that's the one thing that kind of bothers me. Like,
So what tribe
or
did they say
bother
you were
or
from, being Melanesian?
well, they basically didn't know what a Melanesian was.
Pacific Islander. What tribe would they say they're from?
The Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, because if
Um,
see, and that's one of those things where you have to have a knowledge of everything that went on in the
right.
world. King Kamehameha was
So,
African. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
He
yeah.
they Hawaiians identify Africa as home. That's where they identify when they needed help. That's where they
Fiji,
went for help.
hello, Fiji.
You
Look
know
at
what I'm saying?
look at people from Fiji. They're literally African. They love black people, like
Exactly.
because that's
Well,
that's what they are.
Fiji is a mixture of
They
people from India, people from Tonga, from
they next
Tonga.
door to all that too. And shoot,
Yeah,
man, I've seen them. I'm gonna go. My grandma always talked about them. You take a look at them and you just know, okay, they where
they
them?
black.
They're us. They're
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 black.
they're they're hella black. Like they're not even like African
Yeah,
black or mixed black. They're like just brown people black.
Right.
I believe that Fijians actually more so identify as Micronesians.
The micro
Um,
nigga.
Micronesian, and then the Filipinos identify as Polynesian, which would it all still goes back to Africa.
All them
Like
Nesians, all them Negro Asians, Nesians.
yeah, so when I say things like Asiatics or Eurasians, people be looking at me like, what? But when I'm talking to my Filipino friends or people that are from America and I'll start bringing up Albions, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And they'll be like, oh, like that's over there by the Caucasus Mountains. I'm like, right. And they're like, yeah, the Albion. Like, mm-hmm.
You
But
can
it is
always
different when they
identify
find
those
out.
different.
But it's like, can you imagine when people are looking at you and they think that you're just a Black American that doesn't have a clue, and then you're like, oh no, I'm Melanesian. They're like, oh my goodness. They literally just start talking to you. If you tell these people who you are, like even when I'm at work and I don't say anything to people, all of the people that I work with people from Turkey, I work with people from New Zealand, I work with people San Salvador, Korean Air.
So
I work in the international airport.
just imagine what it feels like when you are Black American and
Yeah.
when someone asks and they start to treat you like a N-word. You understand? That's part of the struggle as well. You know, I can be proud of my culture, what I know of it, and what I know of it also how I get treated by the rest of the world who actually knows or thinks they know my culture because of what image was already put out there. Again, I'm not in control of my own image that goes across the world for the most part.
And that is a key thing. When I'm working with these people, I normally like have my hair wrapped so they don't know what my hair really looks like. And because I'm so kind hearted and I build a connection with these people, people will really ask me, what country am I from? And I tell them I'm from here. And then they just be looking at me. And it's like, and I know in their mind they're saying, but you're a Black person and you're nice and you're sweet and you're helpful. So I know you can't be from here because I know what type of propaganda that they were fed. I have a friend that's from Burma, and my friend told me that before she came to America, over in Burma, they show nothing but like war, like protests, like just savagery of America in general.
So just imagine what a 6'3", 300-pound Black man who sounds like me gets treated like, even though I'm kind and what some people would call a gentle giant. They don't know what to do with me. And then when I start to speak and I actually have sense behind what I'm saying, there's some intelligence that they can recognize. Ooh, that's fun. That's really fun.
Yeah, I was raised by my dad when as I got a little bit older, and I got to see I got to see how my dad was treated or handled um, before people kind of like really got to know him. You know, my dad's line of work, he was a high-rise window washer, and then on his rainy seasons, clearly you can't wash windows from a roof or hang over the side of a high-rise building in the rainy season. So my dad started a an addition to his company, which would be like janitorial and carpet cleaning and like building and facility maintenance. Imagine how janitors are treated.
Hmm.
So so I'm telling people, it's like the way that I was raised, because my dad owned his business, I had access to a lot of experiences. My dad had contracts with the Marriott. My dad had contracts with the Hyatt Regency. He had contracts with like big businesses. So I had hotel rooms, we had restaurants. Like my dad went even down to Atlanta and cleaned Martin Luther King's tombstone. Like my dad has definitely paved the way when it comes to like rubbing elbows. Like I've seen my dad rub elbows with a lot of people, and I've seen him eat a lot of crap. I've seen him get done dirty in business. I've seen him do jobs and never get paid for it. And he still has like 33 employees that he has he has to pay. Um, and then I too followed in his footsteps working as a janitor or facility maintenance, like going around making sure light bulbs and things are up to code and stuff like that. Very minute stuff. And people will talk to me like I was nothing. And it's like, yo, do you know what will happen if like you didn't have somebody coming to take out your trash? Like, do you know what will go on? Like to treat me like I'm nobody when I'm doing one of the most important jobs that nobody else wants to do? It's a very humbling experience. So I do have a different I empathize a lot more because my dad owned a business but also was looked at like he's the top guy but also treated as the bottom of at the bottom of your shoe. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's a very strange thing to watch and witness and then kind of go through it yourself, just like a little taste, but it's not the same as having that to have that experience everywhere you go and have so much control over how you are presenting yourself because of intimidation factors, right? Like I'm sure
Hmm.
at your height with your voice, you have to be very mindful of your pitch. You have to be it's so robotic in my mind.
Indeed. I have to be least threatening as possible.
It's so heartbreaking. Even just hearing it, like I have to be least, it's like you have to minimize yourself so much so and put a lot of effort in. And then you get to spaces like TikTok and you have women saying like you guys are the biggest threat and you guys are so dangerous. It's like, huh? You
Yeah.
women in America, let me say this. Women in America need to start exercising stoicism. They need to practice it. I think that they are very spoiled, or we are very spoiled, and I get it. Even my nail tech lady, all the foreign women that I know that's come here, they feel like American women are problematic. Problematic. They don't know how to behave themselves. They're extreme. They're extremely. You know what I mean? It's like they come here. They ready to work. They ready to get their little money on. They ready to go home. Stay out the way. But American women are complaining. They're loud. They're in the streets. They want to like. I'm confused on why these women are walking outside with very minimal clothes. Like I want to see it. I don't want to see your cheeks. I don't want to see the everything but the nip. I don't want to see none of that. Who told you when you looked in the mirror, when you got dressed, that I, as a woman, want to see that?
I don't like see-through clothes unless it's in the house. But I'm weird like that. So yeah, I mean, if I can see everything through your top or through your ensemble, and I can see your panties or that you're not wearing a bra, and you can see your pasties, like none of that is to me is acceptable outside.
Mm-mm.
In the house is one thing. In the house is great. I love that shit in the house. But outside, no. That's
Even those Muslim women that wear the
hijab.
yes, the hijab. They don't wear that in the house unless there's company coming over.
Right.
That is an outside thing. Like, so people think, oh, like, look, these women are wearing burqas and they're tight. It's like, no, 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 no. This is what they wear outside so they can just handle their business. This is not a fashion show. This is not like, they're trying not to be disrespectful and they don't want to be disrespected. It's a give and take with the outfit.
Yeah, but you can't tell some people some stuff. So, you can't tell me what to wear. I want to be fashionable. Anyway, I have
You
class in the
talk to
morning.
some of these you talk to some of these women, especially the one like the woman from Burma, they have, even as an adult, can't get their own passports. They have to have help from their parents. When you look at India, their parents still have they still reign over them as adults. There is order, structure, and respect, and an expectation to carry that on. There is hardly there's not like America where almost every generation is looking at the generation before them. It's like, you know what, you failed, you did it wrong. I can do it better than you. Watch me, and I don't have to listen to nothing that you say up until they get to the middle age. And now it's like, oh right, I think I messed up. It's
Hmm.
backwards.
But this is where the lack of culture comes in because there's a twisted culture and a twisted value system. So if we don't have a culture that actually teaches us proper values, it won't replicate. It won't pass on, and that's what we're running into. What ends up getting passed on is un this unhealthy balance of pursuing wealth and pleasure and leisure instead of actually having a core value of things like spirituality, family, and health. So yeah, we do things backwards. We do things way out because we've lost that culture. We've lost that tradition that we pass on. I am enjoying this conversation, but I have to go. I have class in the
Well,
AM.
you have a wonderful night.
I will. Thank you very much. Peace out.
I'm going to be heading to the gym myself. It was a pleasure, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for having me.